What's up everybody and welcome to Hong Kong in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Today we're going to be taking an aerial tour. Looks like we have a whole bunch of landmarks to look at. Right now we're just going to look at some of the really cool buildings they got. This city will be very familiar to you if you played the game Gran Turismo 4, as the city was pretty accurately modeled as a track in that game. I was able to instantly recognize the city, just based off my memory of how it looked in Gran Turismo 4. We got the Grand Promenade coming up over here. Now, none of these buildings I'm gonna know too well. But if it's a landmark, I'll circle around it and let you get a good look at it. And if any of you know what any of these landmarks are, that's actually a pretty cool building, actually. But if any of you know what any of these landmarks are, feel free to talk about them in the comments. Get everybody up to date on maybe some cool trivia about the city or whatever, or about certain landmarks. There's been a couple of landmarks in cities that I've flown over that look like really historical places, but unfortunately I just have no clue about them. But yes, it's really crazy how many skyscrapers are out here. I think I read somewhere that Hong Kong actually has more skyscrapers than New York City does. Which to me is like, that's mind-blowing. And just from first glance, it looks like, that could very well be the case. There are quite a few skyscrapers here, I will give it that. Looks like we got a football stadium over here, but it's a 2D object, unfortunately. So over here is a building called the High Cliff. It's just kind of sitting up over here all by itself. And look, we got skyscrapers and stuff over there, way back behind the mountains. That's a pretty cool building. There's some more, looks like a park with a whole bunch of football stadiums in it that you can play in. Look at these. So this is the Hong Kong Convention and Exhibition Center. I think this building has been on the news a couple of times. This building looks and sounds familiar. And then I'm guessing the name of that building is the Central Plaza. It's the name is kind of glitched through the building here. So that would be my guess as to what. I really like the gold accents on the building. That's a really nice touch. That's probably my favorite building I've seen in this city so far. Kind of reminds me of a skyscraper we have here in Atlanta, but like a better version of it. And that's, you know, that's something when I admit you got a cooler looking skyscraper than one in my hometown. So you got the Hopewell Center right here. Not really hometown, but the city that's close to me with skyscrapers in it. This is some really cool stuff over here. And over here you have the International Finance Center. And I think I've seen this on a video about skyscrapers. Those little black slots in the building are actually hollowed out so that way wind can pass through, and so the building doesn't sway when it gets real windy. And higher altitudes of the building aren't as susceptible to flexing, sort of like that building over there, the International Commerce Center. I imagine these skyscrapers are gonna like wrap around the island, because I've seen some way off back in there. Yeah, it does kind of keep going. And that's kind of well off the beaten path, because we got stuff on the other side of the... Oh man, that's going to be hard to pass up though. I'm going to try to get the best look at it as possible before we turn around and take a look at the other side of the city. We're just taking in the view here. It's one of those more relaxed videos where you can just kind of not really be in too big of a rush to see everything, just kind of floating along here. This looks like a more industrial part of the town. I guess that's a big harbor. Really nice looking intersection there with the highway. And look, this highway has like a roundabout to get on and off of it. We're going to take a look at the Arch and the International Commerce Center here. Give you a good look at that. I see why they call it the Arch now. I was sitting there thinking, that little bitty building's a landmark? But yeah, I guess that's a pretty unique building. I didn't really see the Arch. Let's take a look at this stuff over here. Over here looks to be like smaller apartment buildings. And then over here, I'm guessing this is what used to be the old Hong Kong airport back when it was in like literally the middle of downtown. And that would be what this little area used to be. It looks like it's undergoing some sort of renovation right now. Trying to turn it into something else. And there looks like some tennis courts down there. Very nice highway intersection right here. Some more football and tennis stadiums. And just all the skyscrapers you could ever ask for. Or high-rise buildings, or whatever you want to call them. At one point, I believe that the definition of a skyscraper was defined as a building with more than 10 floors. So, basically, if it's a real tall building, I'm gonna call it a skyscraper, whether that's the accurate definition of what it is or not. We'll take a last look at some of these buildings over here before we wrap things up. Looks like there's a stadium or two down there. So guys, that is our look at Hong Kong here in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, go ahead and smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next episode.